Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to continue the video I made last week about Valibot, a Zord alternative but less than 1 KB. To start off with, basically there was a new update which came out yesterday. Before that, this was the video. Go check it out. I will link it over here in the cards above. But basically, yesterday someone made an adapter for it for React hook forms as a validator. So if I just open this PR, let me just copy. Ah, copy the wrong thing. 1 second. Uh, Copy the URL. Okay, so this adds a new resolver for the Valibot library. Basically, what it does is if you use Zord with React hook form, this is React hook form. If I go to get started and look at the schema validation, it has resolvers for yup, Zord, and all those things. And now you can have a resolver for Valibot as well with this adapter made by Eric. So it is very easy to use. I'll just open this code sandbox and see tell you how this works. I hope this is big enough and I don't have to zoom in because it's already too big, but okay, just in case, let's do that. Let me open this in my other profile. Huh. Let me open this one. Okay, so basically what this is doing is this has a React hook form over here. I think this is too zoomed in, so let me just, yep. So we are using the use form hook from React hook form and then passing it a resolver, which is Valibot resolver. And then Valibot resolver takes in a schema. Valibot resolver is coming from /resolve. This is for the code sandbox. Else you can install it um, just like this. So just go add hook form /resolvers. You can install that, and then you can install Valibot as well. So you will do something like npm add hook form /resolvers and then Valibot. All right. So these two, if you've installed, Valibot will be used for the schema, and the hook form /resolvers will be used with React hook form. Uh, well, in conjunction, and then you can set the resolver for the schema, sorry, the React hook form use form hook. So basically what this is doing is this has an object schema with the first name, which is a string. Now the string takes in two validations. One is the min length and one is ends with. Min length is 3. It is not, if it is less than 3, then it will set needs to be at least 3 characters. Also, if it doesn't end with cool, it says needs to end with cool. This is just a thing to demonstrate over here. So in the use form hook, the resolver is being passed in, which is the schema. One thing which I wanted to change over here, let me just fork this. So I have this inside mine. Instead of sending this object here as the type, so this is the generic which is being passed here, what you could do instead is set output, which comes from Valibot, and then pass in the generic of type of schema. So what that does is, so if I just look at this, schema type. So if I just hover over this, this generates that directly from the schema, right? So you can do that as well. Output is coming now from Valibot like that. Now you can send that over here, schema type, and you can set that over here as well. Again, you can do the same thing over here if you want. So I have these two, and this is just an on submit handler, which is basically running the on submit on the handle submit function like that. Now it has a div. This is all just you basic stuff. But now what I can do is say I have this input first name. Now if I just click on submit, it will say needs to be at least 3 characters long. Great. Now this is basically just registering using the register function from the use form hook over here. And then it is setting the name, which is the first name over here. this basically comes from the generic which is being passed in over here. So if I had something like last name string, this will throw me an error saying first name is not assignable to last name, right? So for that, that is why we used a basic generic, we use the output over here so that we don't have to change this every single time. Schema type. All right, so we did that, and we're using the register function with and the placeholders being set. If there is an error dot first name, which comes from React hook form again, form state over here. Now, if there is an error on the first name, then set show the error dot first name dot message, which is basically this. Now, if I set this over here, this will say needs to end with cool now. So if I say cool, it will work, and if I look at the console now, it will say first name Kavin Cool. Else it will keep throwing an error and it won't give me, it won't run this on submit handler. Now, just to show you an example, what I'm going to do is add, say, the user ID over here like we did in the last video, and say number. Right now, what I can do is get this div, and over here, because I use the output generic in the type, now I have user ID directly over here, and I can set it to that and say this is user ID. And the problem now is, even if I set type to number, all right, this will throw me an error. Let's set this to user ID also. Sorry, and this to user ID. If I submit, it will say invalid type. Fair enough, I haven't set anything. But even if I do undo, it will say invalid type. This is because the input by default sends in a string, even if the type is a number. So for that, what you want to do is inside this register function, set has second object, and the object you can pass value as number and set it to true, which is basically a boolean. Now, what you can do is, if I submit now, this don't throw an error. The problem with this is it says it throws an NaN. So you can validate that as well if you want with the schema. I don't want to get into that right now. But if I say Coven cool, and now if I do 12, let me just open the console and then submit this. I get first name and user ID. So that is a broad overview of the React hook form validator or resolver. I keep saying validator. Resolver for React hook form. Instead of this, the only thing you would do is take this from, the install this from that and then use hook form resolvers slash Valibot, right? There would be a Valibot here when you've installed it. Right now it's not there because it is getting it from /resolver. But you don't need to do that. This is just copy pasting it because it's from the code sandbox. But basically that is it for that. It was a very simple video. Didn't want to complicate this too much. Obviously, you can add more and more things to this. The only thing to notice is that this is inside an object which is being passed in, and the object has all the basically the input names over here and you can obviously set that by registering this. And you can combine it with different, Chakra UI, Shatsian's UI library. I have a video on that combined with React hook form as well. So if you go over here, go to documentation, go down. Where was it? Form. Yeah, there it is. Form. And go down to usage, create a form schema. Over here, this is using Zord. You can obviously now change this to use Valibot and then set a schema with that and send the Valibot resolver from hook form resolver Valibot. Set this resolver to Valibot resolver. Set default values if you want, and on submit, instead of z.infer, what we have done is the output. Over here, this is using the out schema type, which is basically output type of schema, and then do something with the form values. And then over here, now you can get the form and then pass in the dot 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 form. This is just a basic what this needs to be doing inside over here. So that is it for this video. I wanted to keep it short and crisp to the point. I hope I was able to convey the message. And for more such content, please like, share, and subscribe, and keep watching. Goodbye.